handy. You don't need them quite yet. Let's just take a moment, squeeze those shoulders up, pull them back, drop them down. Let's do a couple like that. Roll up, squeeze back, drop down, add those elbows, lift up, squeeze back, drop down, and then big arms, lift, reach a little extra each side, pull back, squeeze those shoulder blades, ribs pull down and relax. And now we're going to add a little bit with our weights just to get a little more openness. Let's go ahead and step out, hip distance apart, pull the abs in. And we're going to start with lifting those shoulders up, or lifting those weights up, just an upright row, just a couple of these. Good. One more time, we're going to leave them up. We're going to flip. So we're in those 90-degree angles. I want you to try to get your wrist back over your elbows so you're not tipped forward. And then we squeeze those shoulder blades back and down. And at this point, I'm okay with your ribs popping up, right? If that happens, no big deal. Keep the back of your neck however long. Try not to do weird things with your chin. 2 more like that. Good. And then we're going to bring those arms out to the side. We're going to come down with those arms fairly straight. We're going to pull our deltoid, do a lateral raise with our deltoids. 2 more. Good. Then we're going to stand up. We're in an upright row 2 times. We're going to flip our arms. We're going to pull those elbows, wrists back over the elbows. We're going to squeeze 2 times. And then we're going to gently, with the knees bent, abs in, spine long, we're going to lift to the side. And we're going to do that again. We're going to upright row 2 times. We're going to flip. We're going to squeeze and squeeze. We're going to hinge over. We're going to squeeze and squeeze. Now we're going to singles. We row up. We flip. We squeeze back. We come down to the side. Up. Flip. Squeeze. Bend. Side. Back up. Row. Flip. Squeeze. Hopefully your upper back shoulders are feeling this. Good. And we upright row. We flip. We squeeze. We come down. We bend the knees and lift. And we row. We flip. We squeeze. Lateral raise. One more time. Row it up. Flip it out. Flip it out. Squeeze. Bring it down. And out to the side. Woo! Hopefully those shoulders are very engaged and warmed up. So go ahead and put your weights off to the side again. And now let's relax those shoulders a couple times. Give me those single arm backstroke arms, and then bring one arm up. Reach, reach, reach. Bring it down. Give me a little cradle. Tip your ear over. And come back. Other arm. Reach. Bring it down and around and over. Beautiful. So hopefully that kind of loosened up those shoulders. And now we're going to grab those weights again. This time, any movement, we want to keep the ribs pulled down. So put those weights just right against those ribs for a moment. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. And what I want you to have awareness of, we're going to do single arm front raises. As my left hand comes to the right rib, I'm going to make sure that this does not happen, right? So I'm going to keep my body in alignment, I hope, and keep my ribs down as that arm lifts. So we're just doing that right arm to start with. Weight is equally distributed in both feet, but maybe you're a little bit hinged forward, not with your booty out, but just an angle from the ankles so that you don't have a tendency to tip backwards, right? Couple more, just like that. Beautiful. Bring it down. Take your right hand across to your left ribs, pull them down and in. Left arm goes straight up. And relax. Again, do a couple shoulder rolls, loosen your grip on those weights. And then I want you this time to hold the weights with your fingertips so that we're increasing a little bit of strength in those fingers. Abs in, ribs down, both arms this time, but it's as if you're holding something that you don't want to really grasp very much, right? So we're working those shoulders a little bit more, keeping that posture. Make sure you're not rounded, make sure you're not leaning back, lifting up, ribs down, back of the neck is nice and long. Maybe give yourself a little nod, yes, but increasing some grip strength also. 2 more. And relax. And now go ahead and hold those weights. Normally, right, we're gonna step out on that right leg, point those left toes. We're gonna step to the left, lunge into it, come up, tap for a moment, give me a curtsy behind, sit into it. Come up, lateral step, back up, and step to the back. We did this the other day, a little Rockettes warm up. Right? Now, if you want to add on, you're going to do a little lateral raise. Imagine you're pouring something out. I don't know, is that champagne? Are you pouring it into a glass? Are you pouring it onto the ground or down the drain? I don't know. Depends on if it's good champagne, I reckon. So again, last little bit of shoulder work until we do the other side, of course, but getting those glutes and quads involved on the right side. And we should be feeling these fairly soon. 1 more round each side. Good. And relax. Take a moment, bring those weights out of your way and down, cross that right leg over the left. Let's spin, push the hips to the right, reach the arm up and over. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Give me a pull in of the abs, bend both knees, drop it down as if you're doing a cat stretch. Bring your hand down for support, roll it into the cat, then inhale it into that cow, straighten the legs, reach the arm, up, 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 and relax. All right, we get to do the other side. So weights in those hands, weight on the left leg, right toes point. We're gonna step into that, come up, and curtsy behind. And up. Now, if at some point you want to take that middle tap out and just go from side to curtsy, you are welcome to do that. It's a little more cardio, maybe, moving a little faster, works that balance a little bit more, but then you have to figure out where you can fit in or how or where and when you want to fit in that lateral raise. You end up doing half as many lateral raises. That's the good news. You don't have to do as many lateral raises because hopefully those shoulders already feel this. But if you need to tap in the middle, that's fine, right? Then it becomes multiple steps, right? Like that. It's up to you. And we're almost there. And relax. Once again, weights out of your way, left leg over right, arms up and over, push that hip to your left, bend both knees, drop into it, round that spine, hands down, roll cat, extend cow, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, reach, 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 and relax. Gosh, I thought we were going to do Pilates today. Doesn't that involve the abs? Let's head down to the ground. Have your weights with you, please. We're going to start in a bent knee position, sitting up nice and tall, trying to get all 10 toes on the ground. And weights on each side of your mat, although you don't need them quite yet, you can decide in a minute what you want to do. Grab hold of the backs of your hamstrings, hinge back just a wee bit, pull the ribs in, pull the abs in, head in line with your spine, chin is tucked, ears over that shoulder. And then let's open those arms and then think about those squeezes that we already did for the shoulder and give me a couple of those. 2 more. And then relax, bring the arms down, come on up, maybe bring your hands on front of the shins and lift into an arch. Deep breath in. We're going to exhale, hinge back, pull the belly button in, pull the ribs in, maybe 2 little shoulder squeezes. You don't have to add those. Lower the hands, come up, give yourself a seated extension. And again, we exhale, hinge back, squeeze and squeeze, lower the hands, come up and lift. Now, if you want to, it'll be kind of a big jump. Go ahead and grab those weights, hinge back, arms out, and we squeeze, keeping the ribs in and squeeze, lower the hands. That's important. Come up. They can go on front of the shins as you lift up. So we exhale, hands back. We're going to squeeze and squeeze, lower the hands, come up, lift up, just a few more like that. Exhale back, squeeze and squeeze, lower the hands before you try to come back up, lift, and then one more time, we exhale back. We're going to squeeze and squeeze, lower the hands, come up, and relax the weights off to the side. As you roll down, extend that left leg straight, grab that right knee, pull it into your chest, feel a nice stretch, maybe give that leg a little movement side to side, arm to the right, and then the leg can go over to the left for a quick little twist. And then that right leg goes out next to the left one, and we'll squeeze that left knee in. And again, maybe we'll circle a little bit. And then as you're ready, feel free to bring that left knee across the body. And then back to center it goes. Arms reach up overhead, toes point the opposite way. Deep breath in. Exhale, bend those knees. Float the head, neck, and shoulders off the ground. Now have my arms long. If you're not ready for that, they can be up. They could be supporting your head. And then we'll exhale down. Arms go up overhead, inhale, exhale, lift it up, inhale, hold, exhale down. Arms can be out here in a T position. You can just hold that. And then if and when you want, we're going to take a single weight. We're going to start with it overhead if you want, but ribs need to pull down as you exhale, lift, inhale, hold, and exhale down. If you're not loving that, you can come up with the weight above you and then reach it overhead and then come down. So a couple different options there. When it starts overhead, it's a little more challenging, but I don't want you to feel it a lot in your neck. You are going to feel it a little more in your neck. If you wanted to, you could stack both weights in your hands. So double weights like that, right? And you could do that same thing, lift up, reach overhead, come down, or you can start with both weights overhead, a little extra challenge, hold it at the top, and you can do that, or if you want one weight in each hand. Doesn't make a huge difference. It's a little more challenging when those weights are together. So now you have multiple options, and I just want you to do two more of whichever option you're doing. And then you're going to come down, relax for a moment, maybe let your head rock side to side. As I mentioned, you'll feel this a little more in your neck today because of the weights. And then let's lift those legs in tabletop, head, neck, and shoulders long to start with. Exhale, pull the belly button in, float the head, neck, and shoulders up, and let's go into single or double leg stretch. And then tap, and then reach, and then tap, and then option to grab a single weight, reach, and tap. Always remember, you're lifting your torso up to your knees, not bringing your knees into you. If you wanted, you could make it double weights, right? So you can have both weights in your hands, reaching and tapping, reaching and tapping. And lastly, you could leave one weight in your hand, take the other weight below your knees. So you've created resistance in that lower body, added weight. Whichever version you're choosing, let's do 3 more. And then on that third one, you're just going to hold in position, right? And then we'll relax. We'll take those weights away for a second, hug those knees in, feel that low back, get a nice stretch. Put that left foot on the ground, stack that right leg in tabletop, grab one weight in each hand, head, neck, and shoulders float off the ground. We'll extend right leg and left arm, and then we'll put that on the ground. So this is a simplified version of single leg stretch. If and when you're ready, you stack those legs tabletop, and we do that same version, but with the head lifted and the legs off the ground, or head down if you want, legs up. Couple more. And we'll relax with both weights down on the ankles. And we're going to roll like a ball. Holding those weights on your ankles should make it easier to roll up because you've got more weight out in front of you. Good. Last time, roll it up and then just sit nice and tall. Bring those weights beside you and use them to help lift your booty off the ground. Tip those hips back. So now you're in a very upright position. Press those legs apart. And then sitting tall, give me a nice hinge. So spine stretch. If you want, you can bring your hands out to the side. You can bring them in front. You can pull yourself deeper into the spine stretch. Remember, you're trying not to tuck and round here. You're trying to stay lifted in your hips as you hinge forward. And then we're going to sit up. We're going to bring those weights in front of us as we roll over onto the side for our clam exercise with the weights. So knees are stacked, ankles are stacked, and hips are stacked. You can choose one weight or two. They're going to go on your top leg, and all you're going to do is take your palm and press down. So we're not gripping the weights. So in other words, it's not arm work, it's simply leg work by pushing those weights into the legs. Let's do a little bit of actually, let's start neutral. So toes are flexed back towards you, and just a straight leg lift. So that shin is staying in a parallel position. We're not leading with the ankle nor the knee. Good, just a couple more here. Beautiful. Now we're going to put those heels together and we're going to pivot open. So clam exercise now. Good, just two more like this. Beautiful. This time, you're going to lift the heels up in the air and do that clam from here. By this time, I hope you're feeling this in that outer hip. Good, just two more. And relax. Go ahead, take those weights off. Ooh, give those hips a little rub. And now you're just going to prop yourself up on that same side. So if you want to, you feel free to bring that mat underneath you for some support. We're going to be doing a side plank. So a couple reminders: you can have your knees in line with your hips, all 10 toes off the ground. You can come up like that. You can have the top leg in front straddle, or you can have your legs stacked. Have your weights where you can reach them, because as you come up, you're going to grab a single weight and lift it above you. First thing we're going to do is lift the hip a little higher so that arm reaches overhead, and then come back to center. Reach and center. Reach and center. Two more. Reach and center. Last time. Reach and center. Now we're going to set that weight on wherever you can. Your arm is straight, so it might be your thigh, it might be your hip. And then we're doing baby lifts. Baby lifts. And relax. That second little set, it's amazing how a little bit of weight, 2 or 3 pounds on that hip adds quite a bit. So we're going to make our way to the other side. We're going to start with that side plank on the other side. So again, options to be on the sides of your thighs, all 10 toes up in the air, straddle or stack, and you're going to have that single weight with you. Once you're there, lift up that hip a little higher and reach that arm overhead. Good. Then we take that weight onto the thigh or the hip, use a couple fingers to push it in place and lift up and lift. And we relax down, and now we have those clams on this side. So go ahead and lie all the way down, stack your knees and your ankles and your hips, please. You want to have your head all the way down on your arms, so it forces you to use your oblique muscles to lift the waistline. So check in and make sure you're not resting on the ground. You want to be lifted away from that, and then your weights are on that top thigh. Let's do that right heel, and we lift straight up. Beautiful. Now we go into that Pilates V and we pivot open. And then knees on the floor, heels in the air, and we pivot open. Two more. And relax. Beautiful. Give that hip a little love, and then take one weight on each side of you as you pivot over onto your abs, please. Grab those weights with your palms facing the ceiling. So the weights are settling into your palms. Lift one leg, point those toes. Think about your rocket legs and bring that down. Other leg lifts, reaches, and bring that down. So I want you to think about lifting the kneecaps, but keeping all 10 toes on the ground, pulling the belly button in, but not completely tucking into a pelvic tilt, just a little bit of awareness. Head centers. The first thing we're going to do, notice those shoulders roll forward, lift them up, drop them down, lift them up, drop them down. Best to do this with your head centered, but if you need to see what's going on, I understand. Two more. Leave those shoulders lifted. And then we're going to stretch the arms so long that imagine you're pulling your shoulders down to your ears. And that was just going to lift you a little bit. Don't want you to feel this in your low back, mostly upper back. And then you're going to pivot your pinkies toward each other to lift yourself a little higher and engage those shoulder muscles. Then come down, deep breath in. Exhale, belly button and knees lift, toes push into the ground, shoulders roll up and off the ground. Then we reach through those fingertips and we lift. We rotate the pinkies to the sky, hands toward each other, and exhale down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, knees, belly button, shoulders lift. Bring it up. Rotate palms toward each other, pinkies to the sky, and exhale down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, those knees, those belly buttons, those shoulders, those arms lift. We rotate together. Good. We have about 4 more of these. On that last one, I want you to leave it up with your pinkies facing the ceiling, palms facing each other. I want you to give me an inch lift, an inch, working again, shoulders and probably triceps, 4, 7, 22, 39, almost there, and relax. Beautiful. We're going to press up all the way onto our hands and knees. We're going to walk that right hand forward, take that left arm, reach up, and then drive it through, drop onto the back of that left shoulder. Feel a nice stretch. Just let this be supported. So you might use your right hand to push yourself deeper into it. Instead of being forward, you rolling back a little bit. You can walk the right fingertips overhead on the floor. You can literally lift them up. If you're a yoga person, you can half bind, grabbing your left thigh. And then eventually come back to that supported position with the right hand down. Bring that up. Left hand goes a little bit ahead of you. Right arm comes up. We're going to slide through, shoulder stretch, opposite side. Again, feel free to support or reach or extend or bind. And then again, bring it back, come up. Let's undulate through a really strong cat-cow, so rounding and extending, coming forward. Feel each little vertebra. Articulate, slow it down if you need to. All right, and then we're gonna walk our hands right underneath us. We're gonna go from a cat to a cow, and then we're gonna pull our belly button in. So we're nice and strong here, abs in. We're gonna take one weight behind our right leg, behind the right knee, and then you're gonna flex that heel as close to your hip as possible so that you're holding on to that weight. Hands right underneath you, shoulders out of your ears, flex through that right heel, and you're gonna push a hole in the ceiling with your heel, nice and slowly. You're not coming all the way up and all the way down, you're just coming to neutral and then lift. Neutral and lift, abs in. And relax. We get to move that over to the other side. So connect that weight with your left leg, pull that heel really close to your hip, flex through that toe, and we press up, and then from there we lift. Two more. And bring that down. All right, variation. Put a weight where your left hand is, a little bit ahead. Bring your right leg up and straighten it out. Lift and lower that right leg a couple times and then hold it there. Then tip that weight up so that your thumb is facing the ceiling. Add that weight if you want. Simple holding bird dog, or leg down and up, or arm down and up, or both. Make sure that right shoulder didn't creep up in your ear. Mine did. Last time, and relax. Shake that booty out. Let's move that weight to your right hand. Left leg extends. Choose to hold it or lift and lower. Add that right hand, right weight if you want. Hold it or lift and lower. And relax. All right, let's bring both hands to the right. We're going to cow up and forward and round it back. And then we'll do the same thing to the left side. Cow forward, cat back. Beautiful. Now we're just going to mosey our way over onto our spine again. Weights on each side of you. And we'll take a moment to hug those knees in, take a little break. All right, we're going to set one weight across your ribs, unless you have osteoporosis or very fragile area here. Otherwise, let that weight remind you to settle those ribs down. The other option is you can put it down right between your hips, create a valley with your abs so that the weights stay there. You could kind of put it lengthwise, maybe trying to get both, but up to you. You can use both weights, but we're actually going to use the second weight probably below our legs. Start in tabletop, your choice, single leg toe touch, single leg heel flex. Both legs together, toes, abs in, remember, or both legs together, heels. And then as I mentioned, you have the option to add that weight below your knees somewhere. Arms can just be out to the side. If you do palms open, it helps open up that chest. Doing your best to make sure the ribs aren't moving, the abs aren't popping up and down. So again, you can play with that weight that's on your ribs or your abs. And again, you can have one weight in both and no weight between your legs. You figure out which one gives you the best bang for your buck. and relax. Bring one weight in each hand, arms out in a T position. Feel that gentle stretch across your chest. Straighten out your right leg, lift it up and over the left. And then just let those knees drop to the left in a little spinal twist. Press on your left elbow, come back through center. Let your knees drop to the right. Use your right elbow, push back through center. Uncross your legs, straighten your left leg out, bring it up and over the right, and we drop right, please. Come up through center, drop left, and come up through center. Beautiful. Knees separate. We're going to bring those weights and put them right on our hip flexors. And once again, we're just going to use our peace sign fingers to hold them in place as we lift up in our bridge pose. So simply holding the bridge, notice for most of us, those knees want to gap open. So let's get strong and squeeze those knees together, squeeze the ankles and the big toes to touch. And that's going to engage those hamstrings a little bit more. Option to lift and lower your hips, or option to keep your hips up and press them higher. Keep those knees squeezed together. Almost there. And relax. Let's put the weights to the side. Hug both knees in, one hand behind each. Give me a little side to side rock. Pull one knee in, let the other one move away a little bit. And then finally, feet on the ground. And we'll do those roll-ups with the weights to assist. So make sure that the weights are on top of your palms. So they're pushing weight down and out in front of you. And knuckles stay very close to the ground. Deep breath in. This first one, we won't do a full roll-up. Exhale, slide your hands along the ground to lift yourself up. And then just hold here, but challenge yourself by lifting your arms a little higher. The abs in. Exhale down, inhale, prepare. Same thing again. Exhale, float, lift, inhale, hold at the top, and exhale down. So the breathing is going to be the same whether you do a roll up or not. If you want to do the full roll up this time, no momentum, no jerking. Here we go. You exhale, you roll, but you go all the way up this time. You still have that inhale at the top, and you exhale, roll back down again, the breathing again. It's the same. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale to lift up. Maybe you're going halfway. You pause at the top. You inhale. You exhale. Come back down. Inhale to prepare. Maybe you roll all the way up. You inhale to sit tall. You exhale to roll back. If you're doing full roll-ups, you are certainly welcome to straighten your legs out and point your toes. And then whichever version you're doing, on this last one, you're going to stay down. And we're going to bend both knees and put both weights into the left hand. Hopefully your hands are big enough to hold both weights in your left hand. Take your right hand, just like we did earlier in class, put them on the left ribs. Notice as your arm comes overhead, your ribs want to pop up. So I want you to do the opposite. Pull the ribs down as the arm goes overhead. Keep the ribs down, bring the arms straight up above you. Nod yes, so the back of the neck is nice and long. Inhale as we reach overhead, and exhale to bring that arm up. Two more. Beautiful. Bring those weights into your right hand. Again, left hand on the right ribs. As your arm goes overhead, be aware those ribs want to lift, but you're not going to let them. You keep them down as you lift up. You keep them down as you reach overhead. Beautiful. One weight in each hand, bring those arms overhead, pivot the palms and relax. So just using those weights to get a little bit of a chest opener. If you want, bring those arms into stick up position if that's a little more comfortable, but notice if parts of your body, arms are trying to lift up, try and let everything rest on the ground, tuck the chin, nod the head, yes. And then leave one weight over on the right side and take the other weight behind your right hamstring as you pull it in. Give it a nice hug and then give it some rotations. Bring it over to the right, maybe even use the head of that dumbbell to lift up and over, straighten that, let that left leg drop to the left. Then come on back through center, straighten out the left leg, flex through the heel. Think about opening up the hip flexor, pulling those abs in, and then bring that weight so that right knee comes nice and close to you. Feel maybe even a little sensation in that hip flexor. And then while you're here, roll that weight down a little bit so it's in the middle of your calf muscle and flip it up. And then pull in and pull down at the same time. And then at this point, point and flex. Go side to side, maybe circle. You should feel a little bit of sensation with that weight up against your muscle there. And then straighten that leg, roll up. Point the toes, lift yourself up, think rocket, bring it back with you, lie down, squeeze your shoulders, see if you can flex your heel. Woo, that adds a lot. And then rotate the toe in, bring that weight on the outside of that right leg, other hand under the weight, and just let that leg drop a little bit till you feel a big stretch in your hip. Then bend that knee so that hopefully the right foot is close to the left thigh. Keep using that weight to pull the leg to get the hip stretch. So we're not doing a twist here. Think about keeping that right hip close to the ground. And then lastly, put the right foot on the outside of the left leg and let it pivot open, figure 4 stretch. Go ahead and put that other weight down, and then we'll thread that needle. Use your right elbow to press that right leg open. Extend that left leg up, we'll flex and point on that side, windshield wiper and circle. And then bring it closer as you bend that left knee. Crisscross the right leg over the left, give it a big hug. And then arms under both weights, and we'll let your knees drop to the left. Come on back through center by straightening the left leg and then follow it with the right. I hope you feel a nice openness on that right side. Let's bend both knees again. Take the weight from the right side and bring it behind your left hammy. Draw a couple of circles. And then use the head of the dumbbell to bring the leg to the left as the right leg drops open. Slide that right leg out, flex through the heel, bring that left knee back through center. Bring it nice and close. Try and get those ribs and thighs to connect. Maybe even feel something in your hip flexor. And we'll roll that weight down to the center of the muscle of your calf. And we'll flex to the sky. We'll point and flex. And again, with that weight right up against the muscle, as I circle and windshield wiper, I might feel some sensation. We're going to roll it all the way up. We're going to point those toes, think rockets, bring it with you. And then finally flex through that heel, big challenge, turn the toe in, bring the weight onto the outside, slip your left hand under that other weight. And then lastly, bend that left knee, Foot should be near that right thigh, pull up and in. Then that weight goes back to the right, left leg on the outside of the right thigh, flip it open, passive figure 4, and then we'll make it a little more active. We'll point and flex through that right foot, maybe give it some circles. Use that left elbow to push the left side open, bend that knee, bring it even closer. And then finally slip the left leg over the right, hands underneath your weights, and we drop to the right. Straighten the right leg, follow it with the left, point your toes. Exhale, you choose how you want to make your way onto all fours, please. And let's do that staggered cat-cow. So right hand goes out front, left knee comes forward, and we come forward in a cow and roll back in a cat. And then we're going to square everything up, and then take the left hand forward and the right knee. Do that same undulating movement. Beautiful. Hands right underneath you. Stack, lift. Feel free to pedal out those heels in a down dog position. And then wide stance, bend your knees so your hands can rest on your thighs, spine in neutral, exhale round. Inhale, extend, shoulders out of your ears, big deep breath in. Thank you.